Welcome to My Health, My Way, a podcast dedicated to empowering and supporting women living with endometriosis, adenomyosis, and infertility. We are your hosts. I'm Alana, Marketing Business Manager, and Sarah, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. We are here to bring you stories and insights from a holistic perspective. Our aim is to foster a sense of community to help you navigate the challenges and triumphs that come with these conditions. Get ready to embark on a holistic adventure with us. Welcome to My Health, My Way, where health meets functional wisdom. Hey Sarah, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well, very well.
Fantastic.
Last episode, we talked a little bit about your personal journey, how you got to where you are. But you really started with nutrition.
Yes.
And nutrition, or what people actually put in their mouths, is a huge topic. It is absolutely massive. And I think people forget that what you actually put in your body fuels your body, food-wise. And so I think if some people are struggling health-wise, they have to understand that food is probably the first thing you should be looking at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm guessing that is the key topic or the key thing for women with endometriosis.
Absolutely.
And trying to conceive naturally is it could be the food that they're eating. I mean, it's such a big industry in itself. I mean, you've got marketing companies that are marketing food to you. You've got trainers. You've got, all these things. But it comes down to what you're actually putting in your body to fuel you.
Absolutely.
And so if you actually have endometriosis and you are trying to heal both your gut and your symptoms, what should people really look at to fuel their body? Like, what should they be putting in their body to eat?
Well, preferably food.
Yes, food is good, yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of things are not food anymore,
Yeah.
So if you actually pick up a package, and first up, if the majority of your food comes out of a package, then that's where we need to start.
It's not food.
And that's, so really, sometimes it's very simple. Mm-hmm. So it's really just reducing the foods that come out of package and increasing whole foods. Yep. So whole food is simply, the food is the ingredient. Yeah. Okay, a potato is a potato. Yeah. An apple is an apple. Yep. Okay, so it's really understanding that the majority of our nutrition should be from whole foods. Yep. And that is not to say that we can't utilize anything that comes out of a package, but then it really comes down to what and understanding what's in that package. Yeah. And once it sort of gets above the 3 to 5 ingredients, it gets a bit complicated. Now, there's usually some things in there that we can't really pronounce, so you should probably not eat them. Yep. So it's not really food. Yep. And so a lot of these things are really terrible for our gut. Yeah. Okay? They really hurt the lining of our gut, and that's a big problem. And so that's where I start with people, is really that educating about what is food, okay?
Yeah, what is food?
What is food?
Exactly.
It doesn't come out of a package, okay? And then really reducing anything that's inflammatory. Yeah. And so as a general recommendation, as we know, the fast foods, the oils, okay, so your unsaturated your polyunsaturated oils are really, really bad, okay, the omega-6.
What's, like, if I was doing my grocery shopping and I was looking at a polyunsaturated oil, what does that look like? What is that?
It's basically your canola oils, your sunflower oils, any of those oils, your seed oils, vegetable oils, they are all really, really bad for us. So you really want to go more to the healthier oils, so your olive oil and your avocado oil, and stick to your butter. Okay?
I was just about to say, is butter a good thing?
Yes, raw grass-fed butter is perfectly fine, unless you have an issue with dairy, of course, but yes, ghee, things like ghee or tallow even, they are all fine, okay? But all the other oils are not so good for us. They're very inflammatory.
Is there, if you had a client come to you and you were looking at what they're actually eating, is there a I don't want to say diet, because diet is not the right word, a nutritional plan? Is there a nutritional plan that you would put somebody on that had endometriosis that would actually help heal their gut and help their endo symptoms?
I don't really put people on a plan. I'm not a big fan of plans, and I will explain why. I explain this to all of my clients. For me, it's not about dictating what you eat. For me, it's about educating you about nutrition and what you feel like makes your body feel good, nourished, what increases your energy. And a lot of times it looks a little bit different for each and everybody. Yes, it does, truly does. And it's really about feeding more so the right foods to your body in terms of where your metabolism is at. Okay. Yep. And to be honest, I don't know where your metabolism is at. It's a little bit different for everyone. So there isn't really that one approach for all, even when it comes to nutrition. There's general advice that's about what's inflammatory and what's not inflammatory, yes. But then in the same sentence, they will still be other foods that might be inflammatory to you, but not to me.
Right, okay.
If you have an unhealthy gut, tomatoes could be terrible for you now because your immune system has decided to react to tomatoes because your gut's unhealthy. They might not be inflammatory to me because whatever.
I don't have that issue.
I don't have that issue. So then there is that as well. So really there's a lot of nuance to it that needs to be unpacked for every single woman. It's not one approach. And I think that's where we go a little bit wrong. It's not, okay, you have endometriosis, here's your diet. It just doesn't quite work that. It's really for me to understand, hold on, where's your digestion at? Do you digest your foods very well? Where's your metabolism at? Is it really fast? Is it really slow? Because if your metabolism is really slow and you got issues with the thyroid and things like that, if I'm going to suggest a lot of protein to you, that will be really bad, okay? It's going to slow you down more. Because protein is more something, or increasing protein is something I do a lot because women tend to be more the fast metabolizers. They're more in that really fast kind of sympathetic nervous system side where everything happens really fast. So you really want to give those women more protein. Because it sustains them longer. Okay. And so protein and fats, the body takes a little bit longer to work through, whereas your carbs that you need to work through food faster.
Pretty quick,
So your vegetables and your fruits, things like that. Whereas if your metabolism is really slow, I would probably say stick with your vegetables and your fruits more so over the other two food groups. It's really about getting that ratio of your macros right for your metabolism. And that looks different for every single person. Again, there is no one plan I give all women. My approach is based on you. And I think, again, this is where even other practitioners out there and people that do meal plans and go a little bit wrong because we're not all the same. Because if I had one meal plan and nutrition approach for all, then how do I know that actually suits all?
It's going to work.
I just don't think it works that way. I think we're all a little bit different. There's women that where their digestion is really, really not working very well. So what I really need to do is fix that digestion first, okay? Really have a look how they're absorbing their nutrients and really looking at stomach acid production. And then also looking at enzymes, okay? Because as food comes in, obviously there's the stomach acid, which we need adequate amounts of. Okay, we need lots and lots of stomach acid to really chew through that food. I always say to people, chew your food because your stomach doesn't have teeth. Okay?
That's true.
Chew your food to begin with because that stimulates your pancreas to make enzymes, okay? So that's all one. And so as I always say to people, don't rush. Actually sit down, eat your meal because that needs to happen, okay? The food comes in and there's the stomach acid and then your pancreas will make the enzymes to absorb those nutrients.
It's definitely a whole body effect. Like I feel,
it is.
I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but it to me seems that there's so many things working in the body just to do the one function. You know, like if you're going to eat something, then you have to chew longer. It produces more saliva. That sends a signal to the brain, to your pancreas to do this. Then the pancreas will release insulin and it does all of this. So then you're actually getting all that kind of nutrients. I mean, I totally agree with you with meal plans. Like I have been to nutritionists before and they will be like, okay, so for breakfast you're going to have half a cup of porridge and an egg. Well, I can tell you right now, personally, I do not eat porridge and I'm one of those weird people. I do not like eggs. Egg in something is fine, but just to eat a hard-boiled egg, that's not me at all. So that's great that you actually are going to work with the person to actually see what they would like to eat and
what
go down
suits
that road.
Their metabolism. Absolutely.
I find that people, nutritionists or whatever, they're always like, cut sugar, cut coffee, cut alcohol, I mean, for a woman who is maybe working full time, they have these endometriosis symptoms, they're looking to conceive a child, they know that they're going to have a little bit of a harder time maybe than everybody else. Is it just a blanket, let's just cut everything, or do you have a little bit more of approach to maybe start reducing, or how do you work that?
Yep. I think it's a very general approach to cut a lot out, okay? I'm actually probably more the opposite, as in we might cut some stuff out, but we're actually also going to add in a lot of more whole foods, okay? So it's really about nourishing the body, not restricting the body. And I think that a lot of women come to me very undernourished. Might surprise people, but when I actually look at the nutrient profile across the board from testing, they're very nutrient deficient. And they go, how? I'm already eating healthy. Really does lead back to what I was just explaining, is digestion that's not working optimally. Okay, so we're not getting adequate amounts of nutrients from food. We're obviously still getting enough, otherwise we wouldn't be alive. But it's not enough to really fuel our cells optimally for optimal function, and that's what we were trying to achieve with nutrition.
What are some of the symptoms if you think maybe your stomach acid or, is not actually working? Because you and I have had this chat before and I have those issues. But for people at home, what is like a symptom that you can go, oh, well, maybe my guts are actually not producing the right thing so I can actually, metabolize and actually get the nutrients out of my food?
There is definitely a lot of symptoms. First up, you don't necessarily have to have gut symptoms to have a gut issue. Okay, I want to say that up front, because I think that can also be very misunderstood, that people run around, I don't have any symptoms, so I must be fine. But then they have lots of other symptoms that actually do lead back to gut dysfunction. They just don't have specifically those symptoms that are a telltale sign for that's what we're dealing with. But then the actual signs can sometimes be, obviously one that is very, very obvious that we're not having enough stomach acid is reflux. And it's very misunderstood, because people think, hold on, if I have reflux, don't I have too much stomach acid? You'll probably be very, very surprised that if you actually look at the research, I don't think there's ever really been people found with too much stomach acid. In most cases, people have too little stomach acid. And as we age, our stomach acid reduces naturally, okay? And as a result of chronic stress, stomach acid also reduces. And if we don't have enough stomach acid, just for a second, think about what will happen if you eat the food and there's not enough stomach acid. Your stomach's not going to really chew through all of that. So it kind of sits there. It makes you feel really heavy. It can even make you bloat. And what essentially happens is, rather than your food going down, it kind of sits there and it puts a lot of pressure on your gut, which is then what pushes up. And kind of opens that little valve that what shouldn't happen. And then you feel that burn.
That burn in your esophagus.
It's actually not a result of too much. It's a result of too little stomach acid. So when we trying to support that function of stomach acid production, and we put in a lot of gut soothing whole foods or slippery elm, things like that, we always see improvement. I've actually just recently had a client who came to me, actually it was a male, not specifically my niche, but he came to me with acid reflux. And within 2 weeks it was gone. Actually, the follow-up appointment I had with him, he just the look on his face
was completely different.
He was like, it's gone.
And so we really need to start with, because I know, there's so much literature out there that everything is related to the gut. I know that, we are here pretty much to talk about endometriosis and helping women get over their symptoms, and if infertility is an issue, or if you're wanting to conceive your first, second, third, fifth baby, whatever you want to do. But it starts with gut health.
It does.
Because if you don't have the nutrition to support your body, then your body is going to have more more painful symptoms with endometriosis. Your body is less likely to be able to conceive and things like that. So so gut health, that's something that you look at when somebody comes to see you.
So it's really looking at digestion to begin with, and then we'll look at the 3 different food groups. So carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And really, what's the ratio of fuel? Okay, the mixture of fuel that your body prefers. And sometimes there's a bit of trial and error involved. Okay, I run testing that will specifically tell us sort of what your ratio is. So just to give you an example, for example, I'm a very balanced type. So my body kind of likes a 33% of protein, 33% of fat, and then 33% of carbs. So it's very balanced across the board. So I kind of just make sure and look at my plate that everything is a bit balanced. I have a food of, each food group on my plate. And sometimes it can mean that we have to play around with it a little bit. And some of the signs really are, maybe we crave sugar straight after, or we feel like we're not quite satisfied and we feel like we really need more. It probably wasn't quite balanced enough. Yeah.
Before we jump back into the second half of our show, I would like to share how you can work with Sarah. As a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, Sarah takes a holistic root cause approach to your well-being. Say goodbye to merely treating symptoms and hello to uncovering the root causes of your health challenges. Sarah utilises cutting-edge functional testing to get to the heart of the matter and design a personalised plan just for you. Just remember, she's only a click away. You can connect with her on Instagram under Nutriroot_health for valuable insights, health tips, and a peek into the world of functional diagnostic nutrition. If you're more of an email person, drop her a message directly at sarah@nutriroothealth.com.au. That information will be in the show notes.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to work with me, your dedicated health detective.
Now let's dive back into the second half of our podcast. Stay tuned for more intriguing conversations. And so talking about what, you are 33% in each food group. What does a day in your life look like in terms of nutrition? Like, just to give a rough example, what does a breakfast look like for you? Does it have to be the first thing when you wake up? We're told by all the marketing, and I come from more of a marketing perspective, the big companies want you to eat boxed cereal because that's what they're peddling. They want you to eat it straight in the morning. But if you actually look at humans as a whole, boxed cereal was never that was never a thing, right? So what does, for someone
just imagine that back in the
back in the
right.
day,
people sitting around with cereal,
in caveman days and getting their Cheerios out. But what does breakfast look like for you? Obviously, you've done all the research, you've got the background information. What are we looking at in food terms for yourself? Because that, for me, that would help me knowing what I should and shouldn't eat.
Yep. It looks a little bit different every day, but I generally try and hit my protein goals in the morning. And the reason for that is just because I know it sustains me for longer. It gives me more energy. And so I always try and get that 30 grams of protein in the morning. Now that might be a mixture of something with egg or Greek yogurt, or even think dinner for breakfast. I know this sounds hard for people that are used to eating cereal or even nothing in the morning because they're not hungry. Yeah. I will say, if people are not hungry in the morning, it's generally a sign of a metabolism that's just not working right, okay?
Yeah.
We should really be, think about it, we've just been fasting. Yeah. We've just been sleeping, okay, for a long time. Yeah. It's been a long time since our last meal. Yeah. If you don't wake up hungry, then what's going on? Like, you should be hungry, okay? So generally, we find that people have really sluggish metabolisms, okay, and they're not hungry. They just grab their coffee, out the door they go. Yeah. That's not really that healthy. I say, especially for women with hormonal issues. Yep. Just having a coffee on an empty stomach is a really bad idea. Yeah. Okay?
I know for me personally, if I have coffee or I'm an energy drink person. Yeah. If I have that on an empty stomach, I actually find that I'm way more jittery, and I find that my anxiety goes through the roof. Yeah. So is coffee just I can just have that for breakfast, or should you actually be physically putting food into your stomach?
You should be putting food in your stomach first before you have that coffee. Yeah. Because here's the thing. What happens when you drink coffee, and I'm not saying this happens for everyone, okay? I know people that have done the tests and have checked their cortisol levels that my coffee did nothing to me. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. But that's not true for everyone, okay? Because it can absolutely increase your cortisol. Yeah. And then, you get the jitters and you get your anxiety and things like that. So really what we want to do is have a little bit of food in the belly before we add that coffee.
And you think protein, like an egg or
absolutely
some yogurt, something like that is yogurt, probably the best.
Even for the busy women that I work with, I say, look, if you really can't eat that much food, or you really don't feel like it, and we're just really starting to slowly kickstart that metabolism, say, working a animal-based protein powder can really, really help to just, kind of, get someone used to it.
Yeah.
Some people are really used to either eating nothing or to eating cereal. So it's really okay, maybe just see how you go with a bit of Greek yogurt, maybe work in some of that protein powder and a bit of fruit if that's all you can handle for now. And it's actually interesting that, someone will say that after a few months of working with me, like, oh my God, my hunger is coming back. I'm starting to feel more hungry. I'm like, great, I want you to be hungry. I want you to be nourished. I want you to be eating food, because if you want to heal, your body will need that, okay? Yeah. So it's not about restriction. Yes, I will ask that the inflammatory foods are being taken out, okay, that the any kind of fast foods, too many things that come in a package, oils, all of that stuff goes. But we will essentially actually increase whole foods. Yeah. That's the idea.
And is coffee a no-no, or can people still have a coffee?
You can still have coffee.
Yeah.
I don't think that... It depends. I mean, some people do better without coffee. It's very... I don't have this, again, I don't have this one approach. If you feel fine with coffee and you love your one coffee in the morning, then I have no plans of changing that. The only thing that I might change is that you don't have it on an empty stomach. Yeah. But I think one coffee a day is perfectly fine.
Yeah. So say if you are a woman with endometriosis and you're thinking, right, I want to change what I'm eating. I want to, put more nutrients into my body. I want to start alleviating these symptoms. Is there such thing as an endo diet?
I think it's a really cool marketing term, isn't it? Calling it an endo diet.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, oh, it's an endo diet. I'll do that.
I'll fix that. Yeah.
Problem is, you'll probably find that, again, if it's the same approach for all, that some women will have success with it, and some women will not. Yeah. And that's, again, because we're bio-individual human beings, we're not all the same. Yeah. So, yes, there is the anti-inflammatory diet. Yeah. You can rename that to the endo diet if you want to, but essentially, yes, it comes down to cutting out the fast foods and, the crappy foods. Yeah. I don't really think there's an endo diet as such. I don't think it really truly exists, because we're all just far too different. Yeah. As that there is one nutrition approach for all. It's not what I'm finding, even down to certain sensitivities that are going to be different for each individual, that they have to heal their gut first before they can reintroduce certain foods. I think it's different for everyone.
I know that sugar has definitely been labelled as the biggest, baddest thing ever to exist. Yes.
Gosh, can't have sugar.
No. And so there's so many sugar substitutes out there, and, but do women who have got endometriosis, or just women as a whole, do we have to cut out sugar? Is sugar the evil that they make it out to be?
I think synthetic sugars definitely are.
Yeah.
I think the processed sugars, things out of a package that contain sugars that have all sorts of names, leave them out. Yeah. Stick to your honey, your maple syrup, and just your normal sugar, okay? I don't think, if you are at home and you are making and baking and you put in just your normal sugar or your raw honey or maple syrup to sweeten things, or even your coconut sugar. Yeah. I love to use coconut sugar. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with. I think it comes down to the processing again, and I think that's the problem with most foods, is that they're being heavily processed. I mean, take dairy, for example. Yeah. Everyone has an issue with dairy, but it's really because it's heavily processed. Yeah. And it doesn't come in nature's form anymore. The way we're intended to have dairy, we do not consume dairy. Yeah. So then we're surprised that we have problems digesting it when we're probably, in part missing some of the enzymes, the lactase enzyme to digest it, the sugars in the milk, and then also because it doesn't come, once the dairy is processed, it doesn't come with the cofactors required for our for our body to digest it. So it's been stripped of the minerals and the enzymes that we actually need. Yeah. So again, same with sugar. I think it comes down to the synthetic and synthetic sugars and the processing. Yeah. So just stick to your more natural sugars and don't. And I always say don't stress too much. Like, you say your clients, don't stress. Try your best. Don't stress about the rest, because yes, you can have a little bit of sugar. Really, when it comes to sugar, you just don't want to overdo it. Yep. But I think if you're at home and you are making your foods and you're using sugar, I don't see a problem with it. Yep. I've never seen a problem with it.
Yeah.
I don't tell my clients to never have sugar.
Yeah.
Not my approach.
Sugar is not the evil that it's made out to be.
I think there's types of sugar that certainly are, and that are also cancer causing, but
but not your raw forms of sugar.
Not your raw forms of sugar. Yeah. No, I don't believe that.
What about fruit? I mean, I know a lot of people are like, well, you can't eat fruit after 8 o'clock because it turns into sugar and all the rest of it.
Let's cut out all the healthy foods.
Yeah, exactly. But,
not a fan.
But fruit, obviously fruit is a good thing.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, maybe try and make it a bit more balanced. So rather than just having the fruit, which is basically carbohydrate and it turns into sugar in your body, of course we know that doesn't make it an unhealthy food.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes it is better when we balance it with a piece of something protein and some fat. Okay, just to balance it out a bit more, so we don't get that spike.
Yeah, I know the Italians do this. That you can actually in Italy you can get a rock melon salad, or some people call it cantaloupe, and then they drape prosciutto over the top. Yes. Because that gives the fruit and the protein.
And obviously it comes with a little bit of fat. Yeah,
exactly
right, and it makes it more balanced.
Yeah.
So it's not that, it kind of blunts that spike.
Okay.
Kind of sugar.
Yeah. Because sugar will spike your insulin, and from fruit it will spike it. So making sure to have a little bit of protein, because that will actually.
If you, I don't know if you read the book, The Glucose Revolution. It's actually really, really educational on that, in understanding how much better it is for us to, she calls it dress our food.
Okay.
Which really means make it more balanced.
Yeah.
And really that's what I teach my clients as well. It's really not about that food's evil or that we shouldn't have fruit.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, what else is there to eat if you're going to cut out the fruit and cut out everything else? I mean, no, fruit's healthy. Yeah. I just think that sometimes it's probably in the way that we eat it that it might not be that beneficial, but yeah.
What about a glass of wine? I know a lot of people, I mean, we've got a lot of women that like to relax after a day at work with a glass of red or white wine. Is that something that if you are suffering from endometriosis that you have to cut out, or is it about moderation?
I think if you are coming to me and you are currently suffering from a bunch of symptoms and you have endometriosis, then the initial step would be to absolutely cut out alcohol, which means zero, none. However, if you are someone who has been symptom-free for years and you have a wedding coming up and you really would like a glass of wine, I don't see a problem with that. Yeah. Okay, I think that if we're in, really the idea is to put the fire out first, maintain that, and then we can have a little bit here and there. It's not going to, ignite that huge fire again just like that by having one glass. So then it really, in the long term, also comes about that moderation, as in, I always say, keep it for the special occasions. Yeah, have your glass of wine, but keep it, don't do it every weekend or, worse every day. Keep it for the special occasions.
So it's not a no, it's a let's get you to a point where you can have the occasional
Yes, exactly
one.
right. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. So just summing up what we've kind of had a chat about is coffee is not a no-no. It's more
case by case. It
depends. Case by case.
It depends on you.
And don't consume it on an empty stomach if that's the first thing you're going to have of the morning.
Help your hormones out.
Yep. Breakfast is a great way to start the day. Maybe not your boxed cereals, but maybe a little bit of protein. Yep. And just swapping out, synthetic sugars for a little bit more raw, natural sugars.
Yep, exactly right.
Your maple syrups, your
honey. Raw honey.
Yep. Things like that. And your approach is not every diet or endo diet, in inverted commas, is actually going to be or work for everybody. It is just...
I actually feel like it might also set women up for failures, and they'll try something and they go, I'll try the nutrition approach. Yeah. Didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, it probably wasn't the right approach for you.
Yeah.
There was a lot of different nutrition approaches out there.
Yeah.
And so if you did see no improvements with changing your diet, then it wasn't right for you.
It wasn't the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So that's the way I would explain that.
So we've really had a great conversation today about basically nutritional and diets and what you should do and shouldn't do. And basically the overall message is it's not one size fits all.
No.
And everybody is completely different.
Exactly.
And
right.
while coffee first thing in the morning might work for some people,
might.
it's just not going to work for other
Everyone.
people. And you don't have to cut it out. It is about balance and,
Exactly right.
and working that and working out what is
right for you.
correct.
And your body.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be different to
For somebody else.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's such a great chat today, Sarah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, talk soon.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed the enlightening discussions and insights. If you're ready to take charge of your health journey and unravel the mysteries of endometriosis, adenomyosis, and infertility, don't forget to connect with Sarah on Instagram at Nutriroot_health or shoot her an email at sarah@nutriroot.health.com.au. That will be in the show notes as well.
Remember, your health is an ongoing journey, and I'm your detective ready to help you crack the case. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes, and until the next time, take care of yourselves.